All right, here we are again on this episode of Trade Talks, where today Jay and I are going to be discussing what we believe to be red flags if you are a consumer. We're not speaking from the standpoint of the business owner, we're speaking from the side of the consumer side.
That's right.
Some things that we've identified as red flags when you're dealing with kind of a unscrupulous business person, might be the right way of saying, a snake oil salesman, shark.
Or just uneducated.
Or uneducated. But more often than not, I think they know what they're doing and they're trying to manipulate the situation. So why don't you lead us off? If you're out shopping with Jess, which
happens.
I was just going to say, from things you've said in the past, I think she likes to do. If you guys are out purchasing, let's say, a washer dryer, you had to do that recently because you're struck by lightning the house. You got to get a new washer dryer, and you go to an appliance store, and the first salesperson that comes up to you is, kid, wet behind the ears, doesn't know it, gets the manager involved, and something just starts making you uneasy to make you think, I don't trust this person. What would be some of those things that consumers should be looking out for?
The number one thing is the person who does not shut up. Because when they're talking and talking and talking, they're not listening and they're not understanding what it is you actually need. They're too busy telling you what they think you need. And 9 times out of 10, it's the wrong thing.
I love saying these old sayings. The most famous one probably is what, they're assuming by doing that. And so what does assume mean?
It makes an ass out of you and me.
Yeah. And that is a good red flag. If you're pitching, you're losing because you're not listening. A good salesperson should listen. What do they say? Only talking about 30% of the time. So 70% of the time you need to be listening. Yeah, because it's so easy. Most salesmen are like, I know this product inside and out. So when the customers come in, I'm just going to flood them with information and they'll be so impressed by what I know. But we've seen in the past, right? People come in here, they're on their way to the airport. They're only down here for 2 months. They don't actually give a shit about the details of the shower closure wine cellar. They just want what their neighbor has so they can get it on order and go hang out at the bar or go play golf before they get on the plane.
That's right. And I think a lot of that talk is designed to break them down and to the point where they're just exhausted and they say, okay, let's just get this done, get it done and over with. But then they leave there not feeling good and you won't get repeat business out of that. I can guarantee that.
I think you can make the argument too, if the front end sales of the business is acting like that, what's the back end going to be like?
That's right.
Because I think a lot of people buy stuff and they're like, yeah, I got it done because I had to get it done. But after a little while leaving there, that intuition's kicking in. You're like, the person took advantage of me and you know it. Or it takes you a little time maybe to realize you know it. And then what ends up happening is when they have to implement this, you become kind of standoffish, cold maybe, because you're looking for a problem because you want to get even. You want to get even with what happened at the sales floor. So we're trying to prevent people from having to go through that scenario. So one of the things is if you're going in to buy something and the salesperson is just right out of the gate talking and won't shut the fuck up, that's a red flag for you.
That's right.
What's another one?
When they tell you, we have the best this, we have the best that. What they're not telling you is what's not the best, what's mediocre. What are they? They're basically saying, hey, look over here so you don't look here.
Yeah, I despise when people say that to me, and it's a red flag for me too. I think also sometimes it's maybe a sense of insecurity that they have to say something like that. Because on the face, I want to say to myself, like, okay, so you're familiar with all the other widgets or whatever else is on the planet. You've seen them all to be able to know that you're the best. Okay. Now you start undressing how you're talking to this person, how they look, how the showroom looks, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, if this is the best that you have to offer here, like how good is it? I mean, you look like an unmade bed. This place smells like piss and cigarette smoke, and it's tile from 20 years ago. If your product is the best, then what? You're not reinvesting in your company? Are you just lazy? Or, yeah, I feel that way too. If they say I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best, and now I start judging everything, I can quickly realize, like, you're just an idiot. And that's your way of selling is just by saying that. But that's kind of a con.
It's almost like a filler word because they don't know what to say.
They don't know what to say. But
they want to be that guy that talks. because they feel like they can manipulate you into the sale by doing that.
Well, what else do they have? Because a really good product a lot of times will speak for itself, right? I mean,
That's right.
if there's an opportunity for the client and they've identified which company could possibly help them, you already know there's a need there. You don't need to oversell it. They've already done their due diligence. That's why they're there. It's your job to figure out what their pain point is so you can demonstrate how your goods and services can solve that pain point. And through doing that, you're building rapport and eventually enough trust to exchange money for goods and services.
Yeah, to second what you said, a good product will sell itself. When's the last time you've seen a commercial for a Bugatti?
yeah, that's right.
I mean, have you ever?
No, never. It speaks for itself. Yeah, you're right. That's funny. Okay, do you have any other red flags? I'll tell you one that sticks out to me now that I'm aware of looking for this is if in the very beginning of a conversation, whether it's on the phone or in the showroom, a customer comes in and says, maybe they're playful with it and they'll say, oh yeah, I heard you guys, this is the best place to come to get 50% off. And they say it in a real playful manner because it's so outlandish that it has to be a joke to even say that. But people's inner voice will a lot of times come in their outer voice. And so there's some truth to that. If that's the first thing that you're going to start a relationship on by saying, I heard you guys what you're saying is I'm cheap.
And I don't care about you.
And I don't care about you because how could I provide you service for the years to come on 50% off? That's idiotic. So to me, I won't shut the sale down right at that point, but I'm going to dig a little deeper. And then if it was just good fun, or they just didn't know any better and it wasn't malicious, we'll keep going down the road. But I would say a lot of people do that maliciously.
That's right. And
it's a tactic.
I think you and I have learned this over the years that when we deal with customers, the ones that we give the biggest discounts to are usually the biggest problems. Now, that being said, if the salesperson is coming out of the gate offering the discount, it makes you wonder, what are they hiding?
And if you didn't get the discount, does that mean you were just going to screw me on the front end? Like if you didn't ask for a discount and you went through the job versus that same person, you asked for a discount and got it, what's that say about the salesperson? And that they truly don't have your interest in mind, obviously.
It makes me feel as a consumer like they're coming across and they're saying, oh, here comes this sucker coming in. You know what? We're gonna say this product is $15,000 and that's a 90% profit margin. And guess what? We're gonna make them feel like I'm a champ and I'm gonna sell it to them for $10,000 and I'm still gonna have a profit margin through the roof, but I'm still ripping them off.
It's not good. It's not good. What about when someone says, well, let's do a win-win.
Okay.
If they come into the showroom and they say, Jay, I love the wine cellars here, got a recommendation from you guys. You did a friend of mine's and he loves it. At this point of the house, we're just over budget. I love the product you have. I just want a win-win. Let's just do a win-win. I got a lot of friends that are moving in, and I'm a builder up north. I'm going to build some house down there. So, you do this for me. I'm going to go ahead and get you business. I think that would be a win-win for both of us. How do you feel when someone says that to you?
It may be a win-win on the first deal. The problem becomes if you're giving too much on the first end as a salesperson, you're giving too much to the consumer on the front end because they're promising you more work down the road. Well, now they're going and they're showing this pricing to everyone. So now the next guy not only has the discounted pricing, but now they're trying to take more off. So it creates this snowball, and actually a reverse snowball. It's melting, right? And before you know it, there's nothing left on the bone.
I also think if somebody starts off the conversation saying, I have all this other work coming up, I think it would be wise for you to discount this and it'll be a win-win. What that person's saying, like how I interpret it is like you're you're leveraging the possibility of getting future work. There's no guarantee, just so you can win in the moment, because how am I winning? How are we winning from that scenario? We're going to discount the product out of the gate with only the mere possibility of getting business in the future, maybe. And what if glass prices go up in the time frame? And who's to say that person's going to want to pay full price? I think people that ask for a win-win and leverage future opportunities are sharks.
They're looking for their own win.
They're looking for their own win. Don't give a fuck about you.
Absolutely.
And so my hair goes up when I hear win-win. I just want what's fair. Let's do the right thing here.
It goes back to, it's kind of the reverse of the salesperson not listening to what the consumer wants. In this instance, the consumer doesn't care what the salesman wants.
Nothing.
And they presume what the salesman wants is just a sale. just to get the sale, but they don't realize the after effects.
I think too many people don't know any better. And because their time is valuable and consumed with all the other day-to-day struggles, when they have to go purchase something, it's usually at a point where they need it and it's desperate. And because their time is so valuable, especially their downtime, because there's not a lot of it, they don't want to be dealing with a sleazy salesman. So it's like, just buy it and get it over with. It's a horrible way to go about life. And it's only because you're not aware. And so if you really can start listening and looking for these things, I think it would save you on the face of dealing with, people that don't have your best intentions in mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so win-win. I want what's fair. Because when someone says to you, I want what's fair, what's really being implied?
Fair to who?
Or they're saying, well, the way, if you said to me, Keith, I just want what's fair, I would say, so what you're saying is I'm being unfair? Is that what you're saying? I'm being unfair? That's how I take it. So it's almost like a shot at me, like, you just want what's fair. So, okay, what's the opposite of fair? Unfair. The fact that you had to say you want what's fair means I'm being unfair. And I have a problem with that.
Well, and I think a lot of that stems from these unscrupulous salespeople that they've dealt with over the years, and now they're coming in on the offensive.
Yeah, it's true. The problem with these people selling like that too is it makes it more difficult for the rest of us that really have good intentions in mind. And so we have to work that much harder. Here's another old saying. I believe this is an African saying.
Are you going to say it in English?
I'm going to say it in English. Okay. It loosely translated into English to go to something of the fact that once bitten by a snake, person is afraid of ropes. Anything that like if you go in and deal with a salesperson that promises you the world and massively underdelivers, you end up getting this sick feeling in your stomach that you got screwed. Now, the next time you go to a retail shop to buy something, you're on high alert and you're going to probably treat that salesperson like a piece of shit because you're treating him or her because of the way you were treated on the previous job because you're scared. It's like trying to hug a battered child. It's not going to go well.
Round two with a different fighter.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And that other fighter might not be that person. Now, it's likely they are just because of how few people are really aware of the emotional intelligence aspect. But I think it's imperative for people to watch out for these red flags. Because if that's how your relationship's going to start with that business in the beginning, I can only imagine what it's going to be like during implementation, scheduling, warranty work. It's probably going to follow suit.
Right. What do you think about the forced close? The one that says, let's go get this done. Come on.
We're
going to sign you up.
Come
on, tell me.
I fucking hate that. And I hate it because it feels like you're being dealt with a bully. Like when we were kids, if you're ever bullied, it's a sick feeling. This is just a more mature, mature is probably not the right word. It's like the evolution of bullying. This is how it's done when you're older.
Right.
And someone's trying to, yes or no. Jay, you want to have the best wine cellar. You're here to buy a wine cellar. You want the best wine cellar, right? Yes or no. If somebody ever did that to me, I'm telling you, I'm not going to punch their lights out right away, but I'm definitely going to ask to speak to somebody else. I already know this person doesn't give a shit about me and is trying to chase a goal or a number. And God bless them. I think having ambition is good, but I think your ambition needs to be in the right place. And it's amazing how many people latch onto it. I think it's because of all the glitz and glam that he has and showcases is what allure people in. So it's like, this must work. Look at how well it's doing for him. But not in the long game. That won't last forever. People get tired of that after a while. And he'll brag about a lot of deals that he might have did, but in the long tail, people will be sick of dealing with that and it'll fizzle off and it'll turn into nothing.
Guys like that are like, those are the Wilt Chamberlain of sales, right? They're looking for a number. They're not looking for a relationship.
Oh, that is good. Yeah, all about that. That's funny. Okay, so we just touched on if you're going to be a consumer and you've had some bad experiences in the past, and so you're on high alert with this new opportunity. Some red flags that you want to be cautious of would be someone that's pitching you right out of the gate. Soon as you call, soon as you walk in. Overselling, not listening. The second would be, what did you say the second one was? You did two right out of the gate.
What was the second one? We have the best this. We have the best that.
Yeah, I have this. By the way, if you're a salesperson, let's go to the sales side for a second. You want to eliminate the word I. In particular, I is a massive thought disruptor. Because if someone's coming in and wanting to buy, the whole focus of the sale should be on them. And when you use the word I, even if it's accidentally, it draws the focus on you, which tells that person he's not listening. They didn't come in here to listen to what you think. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's a solo project.
Yeah. We want the goods and services. We don't want what you've done or who you've done it with. The old name drop too, that's another one. Oh, we did work for so-and-so. We did work for so-and-so. Oh yeah, when was that? Oh, it was a while ago. How does that better serve the customer at all?
It strokes your own ego. It doesn't serve the customer
back
at
to
all.
the insecurity. The only thing it's stroking is their own ego. So that was number 2. And then of course people would say win-win, or I just want what's fair. If somebody comes up to you, listen for that. How many times it was told to us by Chris Voss, and be aware and don't be afraid to just, politely not, just because someone's doing this to you, they're probably trying to take advantage of you. It doesn't need to go to a physical altercation. I would, gracefully bow out, see if there's other opportunities close by, or go ahead and buy it. But just know that you're probably not getting the best possible outcome that you could, whether that be price, lead time, quality, any of the above.
You're also not getting breakfast or a second date.
She gone. She gone. And that's going to conclude this episode of Trade Talks.
Make sure you follow us on YouTube, like, and subscribe at Glass Guy.
Glass Guy. Yay!